Yeah, Rob. Hey, you know where you're not? In here, so shut up. Anyway. No, excuse me, I was just eating ice cream, so a little flummed up there. But welcome to This Week Unloaded. I have nobody on the panel yet. Probably still over on Scotsman watching his stuff. Anyway, I have no idea what to talk about tonight. But today is the 44th anniversary of John Wayne's death, so there's that. Back in 1979, on this day, he died of stomach cancer. It's going to be a short show for the HM, to be that much. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what to talk about. I was carrying my CZP10C today, and I said some of the Scotsman's chant. He accused me of having a Glock. I don't know what to tell you, man. How dare he accuse me of having a Glock? He knows. He should know by now. I don't use Glocks. I don't shoot them well. I don't like them because of that. Yeah, he said I upgraded. I'm like, oh my god, Kingpin. It was funny. Kingpin's like, wait, in Richard's defense, he doesn't actually own a Glock. But at the same time, I called him out in the chat on it, so that was funny. So at least Kingpin pays attention and had my back on that one. Yep. So, can't really think of any gun stuff to talk about because mostly what I've been watching lately is tech stuff, and then I don't want to bore people with technology stuff. Or Computex was over there in Taiwan last week and got a bunch of people putting out videos this week on it. Hey, Rob. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, man? Sorry, I was trying to use my earbuds, but for some reason they're not. Well, they were working until I clicked on the link, and then it didn't work. So, what's up, man?
Yeah, not too much. So, got anything to talk about? I ain't got shit. I don't know what to talk about.
You do a show and you don't even have nothing to bitch about.
It's been one of those weeks, man.
Bitch about this Canadian freaking smoke storm coming down here. Jesus.
Yeah, our air quality was actually good today somehow.
Yeah, ours wasn't bad either. Today and yesterday was pretty decent. There was a couple days though where shit, it was bad. Like by the second day of it being bad, it was even freaking smoky inside. and we tried to like block off the ACs, all that shit, but coming and going, I don't know, it's still got in. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, we didn't have the issue where it was getting in the house so bad, but if you went outside, you could tell the difference.
Oh yeah, you could taste it, like in the air and shit. The funny part was we were out back the night before having a couple drinks, and I had the fire pit going and shit, and you know we were leaving, and coming inside, and the fire wasn't like done, so we just sprayed it to kind of kill it, but we drowned it out really good, and got up the next day, ran around in the morning, came back, and went out on the back porch after an hour or so. And the next thing you know, all I could smell it, like a fire. So I thought the damn house, like it caught my wood pile somehow, and it was just smoldering.
Mm-hmm.
And looking all around, and this shit was everywhere. My first thought was like, damn, something big's got to be burning. And then realized it was Canada. So.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah. Did you see where Trudeau is trying to blame the United States for the fires up in Canada because our inability to pass and go with the Paris Accords and everything? It's all our fault, Canada's fault.
Oh, that's a bunch of crap, man. Like, shit, if anything, they owe me like a couple days time because a lot of shit I didn't do because was concerned about air quality, and looking it up, they were saying it was on the unhealthy mark and very unhealthy and all this shit. So
Yeah, we had it where it was unhealthy yesterday and the day before.
yeah, a little bit of something. I don't, shit. I'm a construction contractor. I don't care. You should some dust and shit or whatever. But when you can literally like see it, just looking across the street and taste it everywhere, it starts to make you wonder.
Yeah, we didn't get that. We didn't get quite that bad, but you know how the air feels when you're near a campfire and you can just like feel the difference when you walk away from it. How the air will feel like heavier around the campfire, and as you walk away, it feels lighter. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it felt like when you would walk outside here.
Like it was denser or something. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty strange, man. I've been saying, think they owe us Americans a free hotel stay up there or something. Yeah, make up for the shitty days. So once the smoke clears.
We're supposed to get rain. Amy's like, oh, hopefully that'll help my plants. So it's like, depending on how bad the smoke is in the air, can actually make it worse. Because depending on how bad the smoke is, that'll turn it to acid rain, and that could be bad, depending on how the pH level. There's a thing with plants. Certain plants need certain pH levels and stuff. And acid rain can either be good for plants or bad for plants, depending on what plant it is and the pH level in the ground, if that makes any sense. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
because she just planted a fruit and vegetable garden out back. And so far, I think she said one of her watermelon plants came up because she thinks the birds ate the damn seeds.
Watermelons might be a problem this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're having issues with them too. So either that or all the neighbors are stealing them.
Huh?
Damn birds ate all my fucking blackberries.
Yeah, she's got a blackberry bush out there, and the birds ate all the goddamn berries off of it.
I believe that.
Fixed her asses next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like dust and shit on my car. Like, not like some of those other photos you see around with the ash and stuff where where it's like snow or something. It wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fine dust. There's a whole lot of it over those couple days too. So it was definitely shit in the air.
Yeah, Jason's out there in the chat. He said his internet service is out. You can use your phone as an internet service, Jason. There's two ways to do it. You can set your phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and if you got a Wi-Fi card or your motherboard has Wi-Fi card built into it, You can then use your computer and connect to your cell phone's signal and then use your computer that way online. Or you can plug your phone into the computer, do what's called tethered mode, and use your cell phone for internet that way through it being tethered to the computer. So if you want to try that, that's two options you can have if your cable's out. If you want to jump in, it's one way you don't want to jump in on your phone directly. That and you want to use your computer, that's one way you can do it. Or actually two ways, because you can do it as Wi-Fi hotspot or tethered, which basically you still be doing the same thing, but instead of having used wireless, you would be using a wired signal from your phone to the computer, which sometimes can be faster because you're eliminating one of the Wi-Fi things. Because your cell phone obviously is going to talk to the cell towers in your area, so you're going to have that's going to be wireless, and then from your phone to your computer would be another wireless. So if you go wired, sometimes you'll get a faster signal that way if you're going to use your cell phone. But either way, that's an option. And it doesn't take, like I said, it's easy to do. I'm trying to remember. I don't know what cell phone he has to tell him how to do it. He's got one of those Google phones or something. I don't remember.
I got no idea.
Yeah, because I ain't sure how you would. Where it's in the settings somewhere. Just dig in the settings on your phone and you'll find it.
The phone was really smart. You'd just be able to tell it what you want to do, and it would do it.
Oh hell, his phones. If he's got the Google phone, it might have Alexa built in. He might be able to do it. No, wait, that would be Alexa's Amazon. What the hell is Google's version? Google has one too. I don't remember what the hell the name of the damn thing is.
I don't know. I avoid all that shit. Even most of the updates, I don't mess with those. So I'll need to help out any government spies on my hardware.
Hell, they're already tracking you anyway, Rob.
Oh yeah, no reason to make it easy.
See, on my Galaxy, you just go into settings and then tap on connections, and you scroll down. There's mobile hotspot and tethering, and you click on there and you choose which one you want to use. Don't use Bluetooth tethering. You would either want to use mobile hotspot or USB tethering.
Shit, my phone's still waiting for me to finish setting it up. Like from when you first buy it and you go through the process, because I skipped all that shit that asks you all the information and whatnot. So
that doesn't ask you any information. That just go on there, and one of those you just click which one you want, and it just
I'm just
it turns your phone into a modem.
Off topic, but I'm just saying, half my shit ain't even set up yet. Like voicemail, all that type of shit. I could scroll down and it'll say, continue setting up your phone from over a year ago. So I don't do any of that type of stuff. Turn off the damn tracking on the maps and all that shit, because that's a scary picture. If you haven't done that, you should take a peek, folks, because boy, it highlights your life on a map pretty easily. At least your life with your phone.
When you turn on the wireless thing or the tethering, that basically you're just using your phone as a modem. Yeah, just another way of connecting to the internet. Not that big a thing, not doing that. I know when our internet goes out here, whenever it would go out, I'll use my phone to connect to the internet for certain things. I think I even did one of the live streams using my phone that way because the internet was out. What's fun is when the internet goes out and then the cell signal goes out at the same time, which is another issue. Depending on what caused his internet signal to be out. He might not have data over his phone either. But if he's talking to us out there, he does. So that's why I suggested it. I'm assuming he's using his phone to be out there in the chat.
Who the hell's got data limits anymore? Wouldn't don't.
Oh no, I didn't say that's not what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm just stating in general. I would think he could just get on direct through his phone anyway, because like, yeah, you can get plans for $25 a month that's completely unlimited data calling within the U.S.
What I meant was not that he didn't have data, as in he ran out. He didn't have data because the cell phone services internet connection wasn't working.
Yeah, something wrong with the service. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I don't know. I think people that are paying these contract deals, at least as of a couple of years ago, talking to my friends, they're just getting straight up robbed. I mean, holy shit, $700 phone bills, all this type of crazy shit for, they got a few people on their plan, but
we got 4 people on our plan and our phone bill's nowhere near $700.
I pay like $100 for 4 lines with unlimited everything. So
what's costing us is we're still paying for our phones. Once those are paid for, our bills can go down a lot.
Okay, I bought mine outright. That's but I always do that. I'll buy it outright, never get a contract.
My phone was $1,400. I wasn't buying that outright. I didn't have $1,400 at the time.
Yeah, you could, but you didn't want to. Yeah, most people don't want to. They don't want to wait.
Oh no, I didn't have $1,400.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you could always wait and save it. That's the one thing about the credit that kills me. Like, you can save money. It's just like you teach your kids, like, for a car that they want or something. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is not spend your goddamn money, work on a budget, and you don't get what you want today, but you can get it in maybe a year or 2, depending on what your goal is, and you're free and clear. So, and it's cheaper. But the only difference is you don't get it now. You don't have that instant gratification. But that's the same thing. Like shit, my broke ass bought my phone. It wasn't $1,400. It was like 7 and change or something.
If you
want
7 or 8. If you want one of the phones with a bigger screen, they're not cheap.
Yeah, I'd assume it's not, but like anything,
with my eyesight, I needed the bigger screen to see the phone better, because it's not super bigger, but man, it makes a big difference. My screen compared to my wife's screen, I can read mine a hell of a lot easier than I can read hers. You wouldn't think that maybe an inch bigger would make that big a difference. I'm talking phone screens, people. Keep your heads out of the gutter.
I was gonna say an inch makes a difference, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a decent sized screen, but you wouldn't think that compared to your standard size phone would make that much difference, but it really does.
I've seen this thing before. It's a Marina. The hook is used for cutting line and cord.
That's cool. Ain't worth double the price to me or whatever. Not when I can just spread my fingers apart to blow something up that I could have read on the PC, but I decided to read on my phone.
Anyway. Our kids got the cheaper phones. They got the Samsung A whatever. She's got the S21 Plus, I think it is, and that's the Galaxy Note 20.
The serrations are consistent with the 2.
That's almost completely paid off. Her phone, I think, is just about paid off. So I think we got a couple months left, and then they'll be completely paid off.
It's clean. There's no button.
Like I said, it's those 2 are what's making our bill be as high as what they are. And still, we're paying less than $300 a month.
Yeah, that's still a hell of a lot, man. Hell of a lot, but hey, to each their own.
It's really not that much. Like you said, when you got other people paying $700 a month of stuff, I mean, less than $300. I mean, $200 and something a month. It's not as bad as what some people are paying.
I think most of those people are batshit crazy, personally, because literally all you got to do is shop around and you can usually get a better deal.
Mm,
You might not be able to get the same phone or your phone's locked through the company you're with or all this bullshit, but if you go independent, you can do what the fuck you want, excuse me, when you want, and it ain't too much of a problem. The only difference is you cover yourself.
yeah. Our
But
son's phone, when he got his, the plan, when his got added to the plan and stuff, since that was his first phone, it was free. The only thing the only thing we're paying on his is accessories and stuff he needed, because they don't come with a damn charging brick anymore and all that other horse shit. And you got the screen protector and everything to keep it from getting scratched. Oh, no, screen protectors aren't that
it's gonna
much.
be funny. If this shit keeps up another couple of years, cars aren't going to come with seats or steering wheels. You're going to have to buy those.
Well, hell,
Yeah.
yeah, you've seen what BMW's doing, right?
I don't know.
Tesla does it too. If you want your heated seats and shit to work, you got to pay a monthly subscription plan.
Oh yeah, it don't surprise me. Don't surprise me at all. I mean, all of it's going that way in a sense. Same, they're pushing with the electric vehicles, where you'll buy the vehicle, but you're basically leasing the battery forever.
Mm-hmm.
Which they advertise as a good thing, because batteries have problems, you know, swap them out, this or that or whatever. But in the end, between the battery and software in the vehicle, you can't do it. All you can do is drive the damn thing. So without voiding a warranty or having to pay extra, so blows my mind. Yeah.
Foss is out there. He said he buys used older models. He has a Samsung S10e. I did have an S9, and that's what traded that in for this one, and that took the cost down somewhat. So it wasn't the full $1,400 that we're paying, but that took off like $150, $200, I think, off the final cost of the phone when we traded it in. She traded her S9 in for the S21.
I don't think I've ever traded in a phone. Actually, I know I haven't. Stuff like that, phones, PCs, anything that could have some type of personal information on, even if there's money, I'd rather shoot it or blow it up or something than trade it in. Like, I got a whole drawer full of phones. We actually used to do that, is we'd shoot SIM cards and shoot the phones as challenges with the kids and shit.
Oh, hell, I got an old Samsung A something or other sitting here on my desk.
Shit, I had the track phone still.
Yeah.
Well,
That one,
actually, I think those we shot up. I might have one. I don't know.
I don't know whatever happened to my old track phone. I had the flip that was the generic version, the Motorola, but it was a Motorola, but it was their lower cost tier version of like the Razor.
Okay, yeah.
Remember when those came out and everybody had to have the Motorola Razor?
Somewhat, yeah. All the fads. I had a nice Motorola from work that I liked. That had a little like scroll section on the front. It was one of them flip phones. But I liked it because it would tell you like who was calling or if you got a message, almost like a pager kind of. It scrolled on the front and gave you the information. But
yeah, that was probably one of the Razors.
It might be. I really like that phone. I mean, I was pissed. I dropped it from a roof.
Oh,
Yeah. Getting on the ladder, coming back down, and somehow it slipped out of my pocket. And company gave me a new one. I was pissed because, yeah, I like the old one. But that's how shit goes. So, shit, I still got a Motorola pager. It's up in storage, but should bust that out and ask kids if they know what the hell it is.
Yeah, who knows? Hey, Jason.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, Jay?
Using your phone?
Yeah, but it's just doing it through Wi-Fi.
You got good juice on your phone?
Oh, you can always plug it in and charge it and use it as a
Yeah.
Wi-Fi hotspot.
But a lot of times, when you join the shows from your phone, it'll burn it up really quick. So if you're only on like 30%, I don't expect you to be around long. Even if you plug it in, your phone's gonna get like super hot probably. So
Yeah, I'm using mobile hotspot off the phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
How's your
I
battery
couldn't
life?
get it to work. I couldn't get it to work with a cord.
No, the tethered wouldn't work. What phone you got?
It just never came up. No options on my computer or anything to access internet through that. It didn't automatically
Yeah,
detect
it
it or
should.
nothing.
When you plug it in, it should just register as you being plugged into into the internet. It shouldn't come up like wireless or anything. It should have just
It's
instantly
not.
worked.
The cord's charging my phone.
Yeah, it's that. It should do that, and then when you do that, when you go into the connections, because again, I don't know what phone you have, but on my Galaxy, when I go into connections and scroll down, they got wireless and tethered, and they're the same category. And you click on that, and then you've got a couple of like little switches that you tap on to either turn on wireless or to turn on USB tethering. And if you turn on USB tethering, it should just work like a regular internet, like we had an Ethernet cable plugged in.
Okay, it's called USB tethering.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Turn on Wi-Fi sharing.
No, that will just make it where any device in your house will see what's on your phone and be able to access it. You know what?
Okay.
Any music or video, or whatever you have on your phone, that your computer will be able to access that. That's what that is.
Let me see if I can find this USB tethering thing
Yeah, it should have been in your connections
on
setting.
the phone or the computer.
Yeah, on the phone. On the phone.
Okay.
See, that's what mine looks like. If you can see it, you got the.
Okay, I found it. Oh no! Wait a minute, I fucked up. I got Bluetooth tethering.
Yeah, don't turn that
Cancel
one on. Turn on the wire. Turn on the USB tethering. Bluetooth tethering will eat your battery like crazy, even if it's plugged in.
USB tethering.
Yes, that's the one you want.
You're already here. Shit.
Yeah, I know, but that'll he'll have a better connection if you use USB tethering. But generally speaking, anyway. Just to show anybody out there, in case you can see what I'm talking about. You got your mobile hotspot, Bluetooth tethering, USB tethering, and then you got the one there at the bottom of, I don't know which one that. Oh, Ethernet Ethernet tethering. But you need to have your phone plugged into an Ethernet adapter to do that. Basically, then you would have your phone connected through your Ethernet port on your computer, so you'd be using it just like you would a regular modem at that point. But there's also USB modems, which when you tether it, that's what you're doing. You're using it like you would a USB modem. There's your tech tip for today, folks. How to use your cell phone for internet on your computer. Uh-oh, we lost him.
Yeah. Got him playing with buttons and shit. Now the guy's lost in the webs.
Gary's like, tethering? I haven't heard that term in the last 10 years. Sounds so 2010, he says. I'm not going to repeat Foss's comment. Let's see if he figures out what happened. Yeah, you can use Wi-Fi tethering, but if your phone uses a USB-C cable, USB tethering is faster than Wi-Fi tethering. especially depending on what Wi-Fi card your computer has. He's got a HP pre-built, so it may not. He could be on what am I thinking? Wi-Fi 4 still. Which, if that's the case, doing a tethered connection, USB-C to his phone and everything would be much faster than what Wi-Fi 4 would be. Yeah, that would mean he wouldn't lag as much and whatnot. Looks like he dropped. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully his phone didn't screw up. It should be rather easy to do. You get mine, it just automatically, boom, when you turn that on, it connects. Again, I'm not sure what phone he has. I remember he got one of those Google phones.
I don't know, but whatever he's doing, he's screwing up.
Yeah. No, it's still Android, so it should work pretty much.
What do they call that? I don't know. Don't give up the one in the hand for the two in the bush. I know I'm screwing it up. It's not coming to mind, but
that would be a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Yeah, Jason.
Gary says, better hope the cell phone plan has unlimited tethering. Said lots of them don't. Ours has unlimited everything, so that's not an issue with ours. I use it that way all the time. Like if the internet goes out, like I was saying earlier.
I don't know why you'd get something without it unless you just don't know. Or you're like, just came moved up from your flip phone and are unfamiliar with how things work. But yeah, nowadays there's no reason to be paying crazy money for stuff like that. At least not in my opinion.
Last time we went to Harrisburg, I think I was using my phone there because the phone's internet was faster than the hotel's free internet. At least in the room we had, anyway.
Uh-oh. Twisted Tea, huh? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Probably gonna need to get bailed out tomorrow.
Gary says that his is unlimited everything except for tethering. He says tethering has a data cap, so people don't try to run their computers off their cell phone. Yeah, we don't have a cap on our tethering. There's no data cap. Guess it depends on what carrier you have too. Some of them carriers try and get you for every little penny they can, which is how, like you were talking earlier, Rob, some people end up with $700 phone bills.
Mm-hmm. You can always go old school and stick a clothespin in one of the holes that's available on your phone. Don't worry if it's a microphone or whatever. Just stick it in there really good and add some tin foil to it and make some rabbit ears.
Yeah, rabbit ears on your
somebody
phone.
To hold it in the right spot, and you'll be fine. And that shit's free, man.
Yeah, Gary says, I hope you're right. I've used my phone tethered for internet numerous times with various computers I've had, and yeah, we've never had an issue where our phone bill went up or anything, so. One weekend we didn't have internet for a while. Yeah, we had a major internet outage here not that long ago, and I did two live streams using my phone and everything. Now, Kingpin says he was a pretty good tetherball player. I just hope Jason didn't break his phone.
And now he's got the settings so jacked up he can't even make a phone call or text.
I should text him. You all right, dude? What happened?
Phone's probably smashed against the wall in 5 pieces at this point.
I text him. What happened? See if he texts me back. Tetherball, man, I don't even remember how to play that. I don't know if I ever did know how to play it. We would just hit the ball back and forth. I don't know what the hell the point of that was.
Yeah, no idea what that is.
It's the ball that's on the pole. It looks like the poles that hold up a sliding board or a swing set. It's like that kind of pole, and it's got a chain with a ball on the end of it. Or some of them will be a rope. But where I went to school, it was a chain, because if not, somebody was going to steal the damn ball. Cut the rope and take off with the ball.
Okay, I've seen them before. I don't know what the deal is with it, but
yeah, there's supposed to be some kind of game you play with it. I don't know what the hell the rules are. We just
try to knock your friends out or something.
Yeah, basically. Dodgeball and a pole. Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
I always loved dodgeball. Sucks when you're like the biggest kid in the school because it's a lot harder not to get hit. But yeah, always enjoyed it.
I almost broke my ankle playing dodgeball. We were playing dodgeball in gym class, and a kid went through a ball, and me and the biggest kid in the class both went to try and catch the ball at the same time from different directions. Neither one of us saw each other and collided, and he fell right on my ankle.
Damn. Man, I remember hanging out in a friend's bedroom with this girl, and lights were off, and we both like lifted our heads up at the same time, and I foreheaded her eyebrow, and it exploded. Like you could hear it pop and burst and shit. And reaching for the light, turned it on. It looked like it looked like a murder scene, man. There was blood all over. I was like, oh my God.
It's like when a boxer gets punched in the eye and it busts their eyebrow open.
I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was going to jail, man. Like, it's like, wow.
Yeah, Jason
turned up a good afternoon, let me tell you what.
Yeah. Jason texted me back. He said he was trying to get roboting when we were talking. He's trying to get the USB tethering to work. See if that makes the signal better. So that's what happened with him. The Fist Dad says, does dodgeball mean something different now with the trans community? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what they play when they try on that, tuck assist bathing suits, I guess. Yeah.
I thought it was when they go in for the op and the doctors are like throwing them around the operating room.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
World's smallest game of dodgeball. Kingpin says, yeah, dating is called dodgeballs. Or dodged. Dodge those balls. God, somebody on Twitter put a post saying that older guys shouldn't care if they date a tranny or not because they're not trying to have kids anymore anyway.
See, that's just crazy. Even statements like that. Like, who are you to decide what somebody else is attracted or into? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who are you to shame them? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's stupidity.
Yeah, I don't understand it. So, Man, it doesn't make you anything other than a straight guy. I don't understand that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And these straight people that say these kinds of things, you don't see them dating trannies, do you?
No idea.
The answer is no, Rob.
For all you know, they are. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Yeah, nobody's business really. Yeah, the same shit happens with like chicks though. Like when you talk about like the opposite sex, like girls all want a guy that's like taller than 6 feet tall, in great shape, makes six figures, all this shit. And but if you're 5'10" with an average fucking job, they're like, no. Yeah. So they have preferences too, basically. So I mean, people have preferences. You know what I mean? Same thing with guys or whatever. Shit.
Yeah, it's where the whole idea of somebody having a type came from.
Yeah,
some guys like Asians, some guys like blondes, some like redheads, some like brunettes. Everybody's different.
And the guy that likes a blonde should be shamed by people that like brunettes. I mean, I don't understand it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see brunettes throwing a fit back in the day. Oh, guys, what's the blondes? Because somebody that she liked only liked blondes and didn't ask her out.
Yeah, I mean, she probably dyed her hair the next day, but that's different.
Yeah. Chick like somebody who liked redheads would go dye their hair red. But
I think the guys should only go for the fake redheads because the real ones, they're fun, but they never seem to work out from what I see.
My grandmother was a redhead. Her and my grandfather were married for almost 60 years.
Yeah. Exception to every rule. My worst stalker was a redhead. Another friend of mine had a stalker that I had to go try to fortify his house. Kept like climbing the neighbor's house, jumping over to his porch and trying to bust in and destroy his place and all types of shit. She was a redhead. Another buddy that's in the service that I kind of assisted, his wife turned out, redhead. Of course, she was military too, so there was a couple of red flags, but but thankfully she was pretty sloppy with her behavior, and it's the only case I know of where a dude gets paid alimony. So
Moose
is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Moose says make sure the carpets match the curtains. So that's actually make sure the carpet matches the drapes. But anymore, there's dyes for that too. So even that's not a guarantee, Moo. My sister-in-law, my wife's younger sister, she, for a while she was in school, was working at a porn shop, one of the few that was still around, and they actually sold pubic hair dye. So I mean, even that's not an indicator if somebody's a real blonde anymore.
I mean, you'd think regular hair dye would do the same thing. I don't know. I mean, hair's hair. So it's all the freaking residue and shit. Like, that's going to look funny when they're in the shower for the following week looking like they got their period. Honestly, I'd prefer that shit was shaved, as clean as possible. So it doesn't have to be hair free, but don't want to freaking mess down there.
Yeah, Defense Dad said basically the same thing. Usually the drapes are shaved off these days.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be the carpet is shaved off? If they got to shit it, or they
probably
in their heads.
For that guy. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it seems cleaner. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely easier to eat without picking shit out of your teeth.
Hmm. That's what toothpicks are for, man.
All right.
No, I'm with you on that. Oh man.
Yeah, the 70s must have been a bitch, boy. Back in the big hair days.
Mm. Well, even in the 70s, they were starting. There were some women that at least trimmed.
Mm.
You go back into the 60s and further back than that, man, you really were in trouble.
Kills me is these all natural hippie chicks. Like
Uh-huh.
when I was a teenager, hippie chicks were hot, man. Hot and fun. You know, they had limits. They used soap. You know, they still did shit. But the ones now, like, holy shit, man. Like, you know, got freaking hairier legs than me. Like, you know, they had afros coming out their fucking armpits and shit.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, wow. Like, I don't know how the hell, you know, I don't know. Like, you gotta kind of wonder if the dude's like gay in disguise or something. I don't get it, but I don't know.
Moose says we're learning sensitive info on Misfit.
I'm half a beer in, so.
Yeah.
But trying to be respectful. I'm already kind of screwing that up, but.
Yeah. When I was in high school, there was in my homeroom there was this black chick. She didn't shave her legs, she didn't shave her armpits, and she wondered why nobody wanted to date her. I wonder why that could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
And she was hairy too, man. She had
Oh, yeah.
more hair on her legs than most of the guys in my gym class.
Looked like she got Elmer's paste in her armpits and shit
She
from the
looked like
deodorant that gave
looked
up
like
an hour after she put it on.
she looked like a partially shaved Sasquatch.
That's messed up. Man, I feel for the black girls. I do, man, because it's gotta suck, especially the hair thing. That's really sucks. Like, you know, just natural hair. You just, you know, just isn't comparable
I'm not trying to be
to a lot
racist or
of other.
anything, but that's the best visual I can give you. You know? She looked like a Sasquatch that would have shaved its face and its arms, but left the hair on its armpits and legs.
That black chicks gotta shave, man. You gotta shave. Let me tell you, man. Shit down there ends up like steel wool. No good.
The best part was she was a cute girl in the face and everything, but nobody wanted to date her because she wouldn't shave. It's like, look, you want to get a guy, shave your goddamn legs at least. You know, there's some guys that get off on the armpit hair. There's other, most don't, but there's some that do. Go to France if you want to do that shit. But at least shave your damn legs.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You're stuck out camping on the trail or, you know, something here or there. Yeah, a little bit or something is whatever. You know, it's gonna
That's a
happen,
totally
but
different situation.
yeah, but when you know you got more leg hair than me, or if it's even comparable, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my opinion. I don't know.
She was the only girl that was wearing a skirt when it was -10 below. That's all I got to say.
Shit.
No midget tossing this weekend, Patriot. Didn't have a show last night. Man, I was in so much pain. I woke up. I must have slept on or where my pillows were in alignment. You ever have whiplash? If not, count yourself lucky. If you've ever had whiplash, your neck is fucked up the rest of your life. If my pillows are off by just a little bit, I will wake up the next morning and I could barely move my neck, and it'll hurt like a son of a bitch every time I go to move my left arm.
Wow. You ever been with an Asian chick?
Have I ever been with an Asian chick?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Where her nipples like pale or were they pink?
They were dark. They were like a dark brownish color actually. She was like Vietnamese,
Okay.
Laotian in that area.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's a new trend where a lot of them are like dyeing around the nipple, like to try to pinken it up or something.
This was like back in middle into high school. This was a long time ago.
Okay, yeah, so she was probably natural then, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird some of the shit girls go through for acceptance or whatever. I'm glad I'm not a chick. I mean, all you girls should be glad I'm not a chick either, because I'd probably steal your man. But
Hey,
you know,
we've seen what you would look like as a chick when we saw that picture of Brittany Griner. It looked like you on the plane.
you bad bitch. But that's a whole nother story. Shit, I'd probably be president by now. You kidding me?
Hey, Jason, did you get it working right? Or did your internet come back up?
No, I'm back on the Wi-Fi like it was. I can't get USB tethering to work. I did Bluetooth tethering, but it was so slow it wouldn't work. So this is the best I can come up with.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it works good enough. Can get through the show anyway. Defense Dad said, Jesus, I was talking about Asian nipples. Yeah, that's Rob for you, Defense Dad.
Man, there's nothing wrong talking about the finer things of life, you know. Their art, moving, you know, bitching, moaning art sometimes. So
Defense Dad's out there scolding Patriot for saying midget instead of dwarf. And then Moose says little people.
well, isn't there's a technical difference. I think what is it? Midget's like just under 5 feet and dwarf is what, under 4 or something?
Hell,
There's something to that. So I don't know, but
I have no clue.
Yes, you have to meet like minimum midget specifications.
something like that. I think it's, you know, your limb sizes and stuff too. You know, the dwarfs are the ones like the Oompa Loompas, I think, and Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Where a midget, yeah, I think is just, you know, abnormally short. If that makes sense. I believe. I could be totally wrong, but I think there is a difference though. But you know, maybe Patriot likes the really small ones. I don't know.
Yeah, Kingpin says at least they aren't talking about hairy nipples. Yeah.
I think a midget is a taller dwarf.
Yeah, I ain't sure.
Kinda, but with more normal proportions, I would believe.
Now, are they actually dwarves if the females don't have beards?
No, no. Rob was right. Like, there's like a minimum. There's like a above 5 foot and a below 5 foot, right? And like below 4.5 foot or something's a dwarf. Above that's a midget, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, you could hook up with a hot one. It's probably got to be fun, I'd assume. And, you know, like anything that comes up where you got to carry them is way easier than, you know, carrying the average chick around or something. Yeah, I don't know, over a stream or whatever the hell the situation may be, into your hotel room, whatever the case. Makes you wonder who carries who when you got that, you know, 4'9" guy and the 6', 300-pound chick to the wedding. Yeah. Does the dude use a floor jack or does he just bow his head and let her carry him?
Yeah, I don't know. But Patriot says midgets are more aerodynamic than dwarves. and that dwarves have bigger heads. They're not as proportional as midgets. That's Patriot. That's what Patriot says. I don't know if that's true or not. That's
There's something.
That's what he
I
said.
don't know.
I don't have enough internet to ask Google the difference.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kingpin apparently is in the women with hairy feet because he says hobbits for the win.
Ever seen a trick with really lopsided or different sided boobs?
Yeah.
That's
You can always
crazy.
tell because they walk crooked.
Yeah, well, when things get moving around, one jiggles a lot quicker than the other. It's pretty crazy, man.
Supposedly, if you use a pair of calipers, all women are that way. It's just some are more pronounced than others.
Yeah, that's what they say. Even like your legs and limbs are slightly different, but they're close. Close enough where it's not abnormal. But same thing with breasts. Yeah, but it's the ones you can see, because usually, at least from what I know from carpentry or whatnot, the eye will spot out a 1/4 inch of difference. So if it looks really odd, then there's probably like inches of difference. You know what I mean? Like one's an A cup and one's a B or something. You know what I mean? It's just kind of it's kind of weird to watch, I guess.
Well, it
I have not
makes it
seen that
easier
personally.
to pick a favorite.
I have not seen that personally, so
I've seen it, but yeah, it's, sometimes you want a handful, sometimes you just want something small to nibble on. I don't know.
Patriot says dwarves have normal sized heads on wee little bodies. There's this one chick that works at the Walmart my son works at. She's got to be like 4'5", if an inch. She is tiny. She's not out of proportion for her height either. She looks like a little kid height. You know what I mean? You know how little kids are proportional, but they're just smaller? That's what she looks like. She looks like she could be a little kid, but she's clearly an adult because of the way her body's formed and everything. But
that almost sounds perfect. And I know you guys are like, oh, you sick son of a bitch. But think about it. You go out to dinner, you can get her the kids menu. Go to the fair or something, get the kids price.
If you're in the inner city, get on the bus or subway for free with her.
There's all types of advantages. Just got be open minded.
Yeah, take your pants off if she's the right height for. I'll let you figure out the rest.
Yeah, I mean, you can say, oh, sorry, I had to pick my kid up from school, and really it's your wife, and get out of work or something. Yeah, caught at the game or something.
Nobody's gonna touch the one I was going for. She's just the right height. She doesn't even have to.
Small hands always make things look bigger too. So there's another plus.
When I was working at Greyhound, me and my supervisor were standing by the water fountain, and we look across the terminal floor. I forget, we were talking about something, I forget what, and there was this really big guy. He had to have been somewhere between 6'9" and 7 feet tall, right? And he's walking with this chick who had to have been like 4'11", 5 foot tall. I look at him like, man, she's just the right size for him. He looks at me, what are you talking about? I told him, think about it. He sat there and said, oh, you sick bastard. It finally clicked what took him a minute to get what I was saying. Finally clicked, and it was, you sick bastard. Then he just starts busting out laughing. But yeah, I had supervisors at work where we could joke around like that when I worked at Greyhound. Some places you tell a joke like that and to your boss, and you're in trouble.
Oh yeah. Shit, I've got to be careful. I've almost gotten into fights over telling jokes and shit, but yeah, I don't know. It's funny because people can sit there, you can work with them, as other contractors that were on a site and whatnot. You can bullshit and whatever, but certain jokes people just they don't know how to react to, I guess. So like, it pisses me off is, they're laughing inside. They're just scared to laugh on the outside. And then it makes it weird. It's like, oh, man, you screwed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, people are touchy, too. So talk shit about everybody else. But God forbid you make a joke about yourself or, something relating to you. And then it's, oh, God.
Yeah, well, this had to have been back in like 1995 before Bill Clinton ruined it for everybody. It's all Bill Clinton's fault. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We never did say hi to everybody out there in the chat, so let's scroll back up and see who all's out there. Kingpin was out there first, and then Rob, and then Jason, DM Foss, Tactical Foot, Buck out there, or it was. Gary's out there, or he was out there. I don't know if he's still there. And let's see who else we got. Defense Dad. Did I say Defense Dad already? Oh, I probably did. Moo. I mean, we've already talked to some of these guys. Patriot. Let's see, 223 DMRs out there. Evening.
223 out running some drills a day, being a high-speed operator.
And Coop's out there, CNT Designs and Arms. So that's everybody. Small crowd so far tonight. But then that's probably because Ghost and Clover are probably out there doing a show again. Bastards taking my time slot out there. It's not like they don't know. They could have did it tomorrow night. And who cares if anybody interrupts it? NEA, fuck that guy.
It's no big deal, man. That's how you find out who your real people are. So let the variety be there. People can always watch after the fact or whatever.
Yeah, I get more views in replay than I do live every week anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I got burned out on Clover like a while ago, so I was liking Ghost's car chat, but he doesn't seem to be doing that anymore. So at least not that I've seen.
Patriot says, speaking of little people, yeah, both those guys are on the little side. One's a leprechaun and the other one's a gnome. Yeah, Coop out there said people get uptight and they can't take jokes, and some people can say whatever they want about people, but if you say something back, then they get all butthurt. Yep, I've known people like that. They're perfectly fine as long as they're the one telling the joke, but you say something about them and then they want to cry and whine and bitch.
I believe the scientific term for that is whiny bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think there's another term. I can't think of it now, though. But that actually fits that in a definition. But I can't recall it at this point. But
Coop also says, "Don't be dissing hobbits. Those are his people." Nobody dissing hobbits, man.
yeah, I'm basically cool with whatever, man. You can be green, you can be 2 foot tall, as long as you don't think you're something you're not, and you're cool, we're cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, Coop says that whiny bitch is the scientific classification. So,
Yeah, I heard that on the History Channel once.
Shit, so Jason, what's happening with work, man? You guys pick back up? You find something else?
Oh, I found something else, but it's getting stressful. I'm getting a little work back from my regular job, and now the two are conflicting in time, and I'm stuck serving two masters, and
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
just kind of take the good with the bad, I guess. But,
At least you're
uh,
working.
yeah, at least it's something holding me through. You know, I'm not getting rich doing it, but
Mm.
at least
You
I'm not
doing
going
the same
poor.
thing for the other guy or the other employer?
Yeah, I do the same thing, but
Okay.
I got to drive a little farther, works a little harder. Just takes a little longer time. So, but I mean, it's something. I used to do this company. I used to do them like last few years, like last year or so. I haven't done much work for them, but the years before that, I used to do quite a bit between my regular boss and this company. And I don't know, 4 5 years ago, I did them almost every single day. Uh, but yeah, I'm glad to have it. Glad it's carried me through a little bit. They're not exactly swamped with work either right now, but it's something. It's making in the long run, I'm making less than I normally did, but at least I'm making something.
Yeah.
Yeah, real
I've
quick.
noticed it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. Bernie's after he just popped in. So evening, Bernie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've noticed a difference too. Things have been slower for me this year as well so far. This summer I should say, spring, summer, whatever, season break. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like people are yeah, being a little more hesitant on spending any kind of bigger money. So been stuck doing a lot of smaller shit. So had to go look at like a handicap ramp today. Well, I got to make one, but go check it out, figure out my height, width, distance, all that type of stuff. But it seems to be like necessities, not wants, still
Yeah,
or lately for some reason. You know what I mean? People aren't just doing stuff because they want to; they're doing it because they have to. So I don't know.
things used to be like, especially when Bush was in there, and especially even more especially when Obama was in there. My work would be up and down. You'd have a couple good years. You'd have a struggle year or two, and then they come back. Maybe you get 3 4 years, but then you'd always go downhill. You go up and you go downhill. And since about 2010, 2011, it's been all uphill. It's been a wave. It's why I always worked 7 days a week, because you had to. It's just been swamped now for 12 years. Kept waiting for it to, after 2 3 years, I'm like, man, this will never sustain itself, and it's been going for 12 years. The dam had to break sooner or later. This is the year it broke. It'll come back eventually. It's just, if can you hold out long enough in this industry to wait for it to come back without moving on to something else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a hell of a bubble. It was bound to break at some point. Just so happens that this is the year that it broke.
That's where it comes in good on budgeting and having
It's the
extra.
interest rate. It's the interest rate that's killed us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I looked it up. The stuff that I usually do, their house payments were around like 1,500, 1,700 a month. When they changed this interest rate, they went to 2,500 and 2,700 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just killing it. They're gonna
Yeah,
have
if you
to
weren't,
lower their prices while this interest rate's high. They're gonna have to start giving out loans where you can automatically refinance when the rate drops. I mean, they're gonna have to do some incentives to get the buyers in. The
I'm just
buyers
waiting to
just
see.
wanting a new house ain't gonna cut it anymore. You're gonna have to like talk them into buying it. So
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how many people end up having to sell their homes because they didn't have a fixed rate mortgage and their mortgage payments went skyrocketed because of the interest rate change. You know, there's people out there with adjustable rate mortgages still because people are stupid. You're gonna get a mortgage, get a fixed rate mortgage, folks. Don't get an adjustable rate mortgage, because then when the interest rates adjust, you get hosed.
Yeah, it don't get a cheap mortgage payment with a balloon payment at the end either. You'll lose everything you've paid on in 15 years.
Yep. And be careful if you decide you want to refi that you're not refinancing into a adjustable rate mortgage either.
That was one thing I never got. I mean, I guess, I get it on like a business aspect, or you're trying to build things up or whatever. But, when people like, go refinance or go take a vacation and shit or whatever, I don't know, man. Like, I think, I don't know. They'll say they're, going to improve their house. That's the way it usually goes. Home improvement, something. And that's how I know about it. You know what I mean? And I'll come in and usually be cheaper than the other estimates they got. And then they use the difference to go on vacation, all this type of shit. And then, 6 months later, they end up out of work or struggling. And, I've just seen, I know one lady that bought her house 3 times, and every time it's been more expensive. She's actually in the process again. So, which is just crazy. Like, I just once you own it, like, call it good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people keep pushing shit. Work on another one, but don't take out of this one to get another one. Like, I don't know. I mean,
it's like people that lease cars. You lease a car for 2 years, you turn it in, you get a different car, and you start over.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like an employer thing or it's in the budget, that's one thing. But it's just the way to go. I don't see it. Man, I can't understand it. But
yeah, the only way that you want to refi is, say you got 5 years left, and you refinance and you get a lower interest rate, you can actually end up saving money. That's the only time you refinancing to go on a trip. No, if you got to refinance because you need
people
money to fix their house, that's fine. Yeah. But don't take anything that's left over and go on vacation. Take what's left over and put it towards your loan.
Yeah, exactly. But nah, I mean, it seems like, they always want a little bit extra out of it for themselves for it and shit. I don't give a shit personally, whatever, that's your business. As long as I get paid, whatever. But it doesn't seem wise, like in reference to this one lady that's struggling her ass off and debt and, makes good money, but she just makes some bad freaking choices, and it's like I said, bought her house. I think she's working on the 3rd time now. So, and every time's been more money. It was a good deal the first time, but it's not anymore, and if you already owned it once, I don't understand it, but, and it's, going to Cancun, it's taking vacation, shit like that. And that's, I just don't see it being worth it. Like, she's literally a slave to her job, man. Like, it's kind of sad, but she's like a legitimate, I know a couple people like that, actually. They're actually like legitimate slaves. They won't admit it, but they're a slave to their lifestyle. Like, everything, the car, the house, everything goes back to that employment. Like, they miss 2 weeks, they're screwed. They are done.
I had a friend, I don't know the exact particulars of it, but he bragged about it for years. He would pay like an extra $100 on his house payment every month, and that extra 100 went straight to principal. It didn't have to deal with the interest.
Okay. Yep.
And he saved. He kept bragging about how much he saved and how many years he was going to be paid off early, just from sending in an extra $100 every month.
Yeah, I've known people that do similar stuff like that.
You like save so much more because like something about, I don't, like I said, I don't know the exact details, but there's something about it, like, even though he paid $300 a month or whatever, right? Uh, Only like, 100 and some of it actually went to the principal. The rest was all interest. You know what I mean? So when he gave the extra money every month, it was applied straight to the principal, and it adds up quick.
Mhm. Yeah, usually there's a certain amount, depending on their formula there, that always goes towards that, the interest or whatever. Or you can look at it like your first year or two is all interest, and then you start paying principal. Yeah, depending on the numbers wherever it breaks out. But yeah, so as simple as down to breaking it down to one of them places I don't give a shit if you're coming off from being homeless. Don't ever deal with Rent-A-Center or one of them damn places. I think they're crazy, but it's the same thing as that. You walk in and buy outright, it's one price. If you take their payment plans, depending on you want to pay 6 months, a year, this or that, it's like taking a loan. You end up paying double for the damn thing. So, but if you can jump into that double, expecting to pay it off in 2 months instead of 6 or whatever, then you can get out of it a hell of a lot cheaper. You're paying less for the loan. So maybe you're only giving them $200 instead of $2,000 for your bed or some shit. I don't know. I think it's crazy. Like when you look at, especially when there's other places like around here, there's a place called Olam's, and they do like Magic Circle credit, shit like that if you want, which I've never used, but I know people that do. It actually goes towards building your credit up and shit like that, but it's all in house somehow, and it's cheaper than like it's like almost comparable to Rent-A-Center, but you don't pay any of the interest crap on it. Like it's the way it's done. There's other programs out there is what I'm saying. Like I don't understand why people do that. It's such a damn ripoff. Yeah. And it's the same thing. Yeah. With loans and everything else. That's just a smaller scale. So
Yeah, the only time we've ever done something like that was when we first moved to the new place and we needed a washer and dryer because they wanted way too much at the little laundromat at the facility, and there was no other laundromat in the area. So if you wanted to do clothes, you either used their laundromat, or you had the 3-bedroom townhouse, you had the hookups for a washer and dryer. We went over to Aaron's, which is over by the Walmart here, got a washer and dryer. We paid 2 monthly payments, and our daughter, when she got her student loan money, paid them off. So we didn't really pay anything more than what they would have cost anyway. Because the way Aaron's works, you can either go in and rent to own, like what you were just talking about, or you could buy outright. Which if you pay outright, you're just paying regular MSRP, basically.
plus a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Usually.
If you pay outright, you're just paying regular retail price.
Right. But if you look at that same item and go to any other appliance store, there might be $20, $30 difference. You know what I mean? It's not
the same price. It was the same price. We looked online at Best Buy for the same things, and it was the exact same price.
Maybe coincidentally, yeah. But even the same hammer at Lowe's versus Home Depot, there's usually a different price. It might not be much. It's only a couple bucks or something, but it's usually different for some reason. So at least that I've noticed. So I see that with products all over.
Yeah, it just depends.
Even a 2x4 will be like different prices between different stores, but I get what you're saying though. You're not paying like an extra for the loan or anything crazy like that. Yeah, I don't know. I did it once, man, and I'm ashamed to say I did it once, but
it was one of those deals
quick move and this and that, and it had to get it done.
Yeah, we got it on one of those deals where there's like no interest that paid off within 6 months. So we didn't pay any interest or anything like that. We just paid regular retail.
Yeah, I don't remember what deal I got, but I know they gave me like free money though. Like, and then when I finished paying, they said I was a I don't know, like value. I don't know, some special customer, and they gave me like $500 off, trying to rope you back in.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking hated it and paid it off quick. Those sons of bitches, dude, I'd get paid, so I'd drive over there before I come home and just pay the freaking bill. And then I'd come home and, sometimes pass out because this was a while ago. Kids would be at school, whatever. And then the next thing you know, some bitch down on my porch beating on my door like it's the goddamn police, man. Like, so of course I'm running down there ready to fucking fight. Like, who the hell is it? And this goddamn guy out there, my whole neighborhood looking, screaming about a payment that I already paid your ass. Like, be coming to my house with this shit. Like, I pay my bill. Like, I almost got myself in trouble. Like, the whole neighborhood heard me coming to the door. Let me put it that way. Like, he backed up real quick and left. But that type of shit, like, that's embarrassing. Like, I don't know. It's horrible. Like, when you pay your bill and they're over there beating on your door, screaming and shit, like, oh, hell no. Beating on my door. Like, dude, shit.
Yeah, never had that happen.
Oh my God. Like, I had issues with them a couple times. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's like just harassment. So that's just part of the reason besides it being a ripoff, it's embarrassing. I don't want nothing to do with that shit around my house.
Shit, man, I had a screwed up story one time. I had a girlfriend who had one of them pay by the month credit card things or whatever for Helig Meyer Furniture Store. You know what that is? It's,
Nah.
It's like that Rent-A-Center stuff you was talking about, but like
Okay.
furniture.
Yeah, through a store or something.
Yeah,
some
yeah,
type of
right.
thing. Yeah.
Well, she was always getting stuff from there, and we were fixing the house up, and we needed a kitchen, wanted to get a new kitchen table or something, and I got a truck. She said something one day and asked me. Anyways, I didn't even like ask for it or do nothing, but she said she would add my name to her account or whatever. But they sent us a card in the mail for that Helig Meyer place with my name on it, right? So, because she would be at work or whatever. So then I could run out there and get this new dining room table, put it in the truck, So I did that. I went and got it. I had a card with my name on it, but it wasn't my account or my credit. It was hers. You know what I mean? I didn't fill nothing out. But
Put you as like a co-signer, huh? And then
it
she
made me like a
co-signer. A bunch
co-signer.
of shit, and you got stuff with the freaking bill.
Yeah, like a couple, and I didn't know anything about it. And like I done broke up with her, and it'd been a couple years. And well, I had a lot going on. I had a boat payment and had a truck payment and some other stuff, and I was getting a mortgage. So they were gonna like take all my debts and pay them off. So now the only thing, I wouldn't have a boat payment or a truck payment or anything. All I'd have was a house payment. And I said, okay, they just throw numbers in a million papers in front of you to sign and everything. And it was all said and done. And later on, I got to looking, and there was something down there like $2,000. My mortgage just paid Helig Meyer. I'm like, what? It was on my credit report or so. I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, what? So I go bitching about it, and I go to Helig Meyer's. Yeah, she went and bought like a couch and chair and stuff for the living room.
Oh, yeah.
And they put it on my mortgage to pay it off. I'm like, oh, no. Give me my money back. They laughed at me. They laughed at me, right?
Yeah,
I said, no way. And they were like, nope. And he's like, I've been divorced and this and that, credit cards, you can't do nothing about it. And I just sat and bitched. I said, give me my fucking money. They wouldn't do it. So I call like every fucking month. Give me my money. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't do it. And because I got the mortgage, actually, my dad was a mortgage loan officer and went through like him and his company or whatever. He tried like getting my money back, couldn't do it, right? So like my fucking mom picks up the phone and calls Helig Meyer's and just like was straight up, give me your legal department, right? And like whoever she got to, she pretended to be like the legal department for the company my dad's mortgage come through. Anyway, she pretended to be like from the legal department of my mortgage. And she wanted all these information updates. What's going on with this guy? He calls us every single day wanting this taken care of, and they start blah, blah, blah on her. And she said, well, let me tell you what. He's going to sue us, most certainly. And she said, and most certainly, we are going to sue you. Wasn't long after that, Helig Myers calling, oh, no. Cut you a check right now. Here's your $2,000. Because what we got him on was at that Helig Meyer place, when you go in there to get something, you have to sign your name. You have to sign the signature. You know what I mean? And we were like, you pull up anything you got that's got my signature on it, and that's what I'll pay for. They found a lamp or something I bought for like $15, and that's the only thing they had on their whole system with my name on it that I bought in your store, and them motherfuckers cut me a $2,000 check.
Nice.
It did take probably 2 years, but I got it. And on top of that, I mean, I was irate, livid with them, man, many times. They actually wrote me my check, promised me it was going to be here like Monday or something, or Tuesday, and it was going to be delivered to my mortgage office, right? And I'd have to go get it from them. Believe it or not, it was all over the news. The airplane from UPS or FedEx or whoever that had my check on it, that motherfucker crashed on the runway in like Indianapolis.
Oh, bitch.
Right, like on the Friday, like on Saturday or Friday or something,
Yeah,
right?
There goes another 2 months to get another check.
Nope, believe it or not, they cut a different check and put it to my house, and the son of a bitch was in the mailbox of my house a day early, like on Monday.
Wow, that's cool.
So I made out the whole way, except, do you know what I did with that $2,000?
You bought a gun?
No, worse. I wish I would have.
You didn't go back out with that check, did you?
Nope.
Sorry.
I thought I found my dream car. I always wanted it. I ran down to the car lot and threw $2,000 down on a Camaro IROC Z. And that turned out to be the biggest piece of shit car I ever owned in my life. And as a matter of fact, because of that car, I never bought a Chevrolet again the rest of my life. And I was born and raised off Chevrolets.
Oh, man.
My stepdad was an engineer, and he was a drag racer. I was helping rebuild 350 Chevy engines when I was like 10 years old. I was helping doing the fine detail and machining work on very powerful hot rod engines. I was 12, 13, 14 years old on a moped, man. I was a Chevy guy my whole life. Can't even name how many very good, very dependable Chevrolet pickup trucks I had owned. And after that IROC Z, I never owned another Chevy, man.
Hey, it could have been worse. Your dream car could have been like Squibbs and been a Pontiac Fiero GT.
Oh, man, yeah.
Oh, man, them
Remember when
IROCs.
Squibb was going off about the Fiero?
Oh, the
I had,
IROCs, they're cool cars. I love the look at them. I wish they hadn't all rotted away off the earth. I mean, you don't see them on the road anymore. But, man, for a while, they were the hot car. They're good looking. Now the thing went around corners like a dream. But, man, it rattled. It squeaked. Everything fucking came loose on it. Then I had the alternator, the voltage regulator go bad, and it shot 18 volts through the car instead of, 12 and a half, 13. Actually melted the ground wire off of the battery back to like the alternator bracket. Just melted the coating off of that. And it fried and melted every sensor on that engine. It was tune port fuel injected like the Vet motors. it melted everything. Even like my knock sensor was in the side of the block like a freeze plug. It just melted it to nothing. It just wasted all the electronics and everything in that car and that engine. Oh, I was so fucking pissed. Never could get it to run. Never
Did
could. Got tired of putting money in it. It was chase down one sensor, replace it, still don't run, look around, find another wire melted, find another sensor that didn't work. That car was junk, man. Fucking junk. And it used to run so good.
Because you had those problems, though. You know, like you're condemning all Chevy because of one POS, but all manufacturers got a few POSs. I had the Cavalier Z24, and that was a giant. Yeah, it was a giant piece of shit. It ran great when it ran, but that was it. You know, it was so undependable. You know, I think I ditched that car.
Why do you think they cost so much? What was it, like $99 a month for one of those new?
I don't know. I got mine used after a police chase and all types of shit. It got rebuilt, and when I bought it from a garage, and when I knew the people that owned it prior. There's a story to all that, but basically, on my way home with the car, the exhaust wrapped up around the freaking wheel well. That was like the first sign, like, you know. But yeah, that car was trouble. But you know, when you got electrical problems, shorting shit out, the one nice thing about those motors is, I mean, you can get damn near all your sensors for like $100 and some odd bucks. Like, you know, like I'm shocked you didn't just maybe, you know, if this was years back, it might have been cheaper. But you know, my truck, you know, I can get damn near everything for about $100 right from the parts store, not even online.
Oh no, shit was outrageous on that Camaro. Okay. I remember even back in the day, the mass airflow sensor was like $300 and some right there. But what it was, this was the old kind.
Like $20 for this, $30 for that. You know what I mean? Some shit's like $12. It's crazy.
This was the car, like, you couldn't plug in a scanner. It had the port, but you bought this thing that was basically a key, and it shorted out two of the plugs, and then it flashed the check engine light. And like if it flashed 3 times real fast, you know, it's a 3, and then 2 real slow, so that was code 32.
Yeah.
So then you go look up in the books what's code 32. But every single thing back in those days like that, it would say like code 32. Oh, it's your temperature sensor, right? You're like, oh, okay, get temperature. And then it'll have parentheses. Oh, but if your manifold pressure switch is bad, it'll throw this code anyways when this ain't it. You know what I mean? So I went through changing sensor after sensor after sensor, and the car would run, it'd start up, it'd idle. If you gave it a little bit of gas, it would sputter and die. It was like in what was called limp home mode. Mm-hmm. And if you floored it, full gas pedal, it went into its own pre-programmed mode for timing and fuel, and it totally didn't even look at any sensors. So if you floored it, it ran great. If you tried to drive it normal, it just wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, Scotsman's after, so evening again, Scotsman. Foss said his mother had a Cavalier. It was transportation, not much else. Transportation when it ran. I knew somebody who had a Cavalier, and he had nothing but trouble with the damn thing. He got his new. That's how I know it was $99 a month.
I had one of them Daytona IROC, Daytona IROC. The hell is it? It was a Dodge or Chrysler?
They're Daytona.
Or no, Dodge.
Daytona.
Yeah, Dodge.
Yeah,
Dodge
Daytona, some shit, I think. Yeah, T-top, lumbar support. That shit was pretty nice. Pretty decent car for the time. Like it looked like it was new. You know, black leather, all that shit, turbo. It's funny because it almost sounded like the cops were behind you when you were getting into it and shit. Like it freaked friends out. It was a good time. I got popped by one of them state troopers in an IROC in that car. So going down to Jersey.
Speaking of cars, this is something I just actually learned this morning watching a video. Back in the day, I used to have, I think it was a 78. I had a 78 Dodge Magnum, right? Had T-tops, had the center console, floor shifter, had a 360 in it, ran really good. Had a great body on it. I think I traded a car and gave like $800 for it. And like back then, like, you know, $1,000 car was like a sweet ass car, you know. But I had that Dodge Magnum for a while. Wasn't really a Dodge guy, really. I didn't know anything about it. And this was like in the 80s. I mean, you know, we didn't have the internet or able to research or learn or know anything, you know what I mean? It's just a late 70s car like all of them. I didn't think any performance or anything out of it, even though it was a kind of a nice car. I got to watching a video today, and they were talking about Dodge Magnums and the Cordovas and stuff. Do you know that underneath of that car, its suspension, front and back, was straight out of a 71 Cuda, and not just any Cuda, 71 Hemi Cudas. I was like, what? So, like, what was rare and special, like the brakes, the shocks, the suspension, the springs, the torsion bars, what was like top of the line, click every option, buy a rare Hemi Cuda in 1971 was basic standard equipment on a regular car in 1978. They were showing this car and had the wheels off, the front brakes, the suspension, all that. Same exact part numbers. It was sitting on a 71 Hemi Cuda. Rear suspension, the Dodge rear end, the special brakes, large size brakes, heavy duty sway bars, all that crap was the exact same parts that was on a 71 Cuda on that suspension. I didn't know that till this morning. My whole life, I did not know that those late 70s Dodges was just leftover parts from the good old days. Had no idea. No idea.
Common though. Yeah, a lot of
if I didn't know that,
do a lot of different platforms on the same chassis or frames back around that time. I'm thinking, and so that's where you got like the rebadged cars and all that shit started coming out. Where, I mean, in some cases we still have it. Well, we do still have it today, but they do a little better job. But you know, you can kind of tell there's a lot of vehicles that are kind of crossed through different manufacturers that are all the same damn thing. Yeah, the GMC versus the Chevy pickup. You know what I mean? Like, or even Cadillac.
Or Toyota and Lexus. People go out and they'll buy a Toyota Corolla, and somebody else will buy whatever the Lexus. It's the same damn thing. It just one says Toyota Corolla, and the other one says Lexus.
There's slight differences. I mean, but typically, your basics, it's all the same kit.
You can level up that Corolla to the same thing as what the Lexus is.
But as far as interior trim packages, things like that, that's where you get into some differences. There is some that are basically identical, but there's others like Lexus is Toyota's supposedly premium model. Some Acura and Honda, they're the same damn parts under the hood and shit. But the trim on the dash might be slightly different. But you can swap that out and put it in yours if you want, or vice versa.
Here we had my wife. She's got the Ford Escape, the SEL, which is next to the top Ford Escape, the top being the titanium. She was parked next to somebody with the Lincoln version, and the owner came out. We were getting out of the car, and we're like, they're the same year, and we're like comparing them. They were almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman was like, "How much you guys pay for that?" It was like, "Oh, I believe we paid $30." She paid $60 and had the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah. There's a lot like that. I mean,
Yeah.
the Escalade, shit like that. I mean, you know, like I said, in some cases, there's a few extra features, this or that, but they're basically the nuts and bolts are pretty much identical. So yeah. I mean, it makes it nice if you're hunting around for parts or something, because and you know the differences, but because then you can pull stuff. Shit, I made a inner tie rod work from a Mitsubishi on a Dodge once, because this a year they changed like male to female on the Dodge, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and the car had to be operational. So, but I was able to slam in a Mitsubishi tie rod, basically do the alignment myself, but measured the whole part, calipers, all this shit, busted it in, which 4-man's alignment, and it was running. But it's kind of crazy how that works. I mean, now a lot of the cars, I know Ford's big for this, where they a lot of their performance models and shit is the same exact engine as the regular. It's just got different tuning. So, exhaust might be slightly different or this or that on it too for sound and whatnot. But, now you can do a hell of a lot more with programming and stuff to make a vehicle different, even with transmissions in some sense. So you can switch it out to run like a truck or run like a sports car in some cases.
Yeah, the only difference between the Escape and the Lincoln was that the Lincoln had the moonroof. But we could have got that if we'd have wanted it. That was the only damn difference. She had the base model of the Lincoln, and we had the next from the top tier or the Escape, and they were identical cars.
Some people like to pay more, man. And that's, it sounds crazy, but it's honestly true. Some people just feel like they get a better deal if they're paying more. Like,
all they're doing is paying for the name in a lot of cases.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, yeah. I mean, but there's really truth to that. I used to look at that like it was crazy, but nah, it's true, man. Even in business, if you come across too cheap, you're gonna get less work. It just is what it is. I don't understand why, but people feel like something's getting shafted or corners are cut. So I don't know.
Yeah, but the dashboards were identical. The seats were identical. I mean, it was crazy. It's like we looked at it like, you paid how much?
Remember when we was talking about them Ford Mavericks? And I was telling you, I saw how you can jump into the computer programming that's in it and just turn options on that weren't on your car that like Ford makes you pay for. When you were talking about that stuff, one of the things I remembered you can do with that, like if you buy the Lariat model, your electric windows are the automatic ones where you just give it a quick bump and it rolls all the way up or rolls all the way down or whatever.
Shit, me, my freaking
the regular model. Yeah, well, like the regular model doesn't have that. It
That's
just has you hold the button either way, right?
That's funny.
You got to jump up to the Lariat model to have those advanced automatic windows. That's an option in that little program. I looked it up under parts department too when I was looking at it. The electrical switches and the electric motor for the window regulator, all the same part numbers. But you go into that little program and you just click the advanced electric window button. Just click the box and let it load up on the computer. And now your windows are that new kind where you just touch it and it goes up or down. All it was you click a box. You just the options are sitting there already in the computer, already on the car, and you're just clicking a check to turn it on or off. And it's the same options Ford's like charging the hell out of you for, man.
I can do that same thing with my Honda just by depressing the button for 5 seconds down or 5 seconds up. And I can reprogram my door on my 98.
My wife's Escape. My wife's Escape. You tap the button once and the window goes all the way up. If you hold the button in, you can that's how you do it little by little.
Yeah. Well, even that you can probably reprogram because most people don't realize them, but your car is already that smart in most cases. A 98 is where you can have it so it's manual. You got to hold the button, or you can do it the way you're talking because that's how mine's set up right now. If I just tap the button, it just automatically rolls down. But if I hold or whatever, it'll when I let go, it lets go. Or I can swap it to where it's the other way, where you have to hold it all the way down, all the way up. And that's a freaking 98, man, like a economy car. Well, it was, it's an EX, but still, it's nothing fancy. So to have to pay extra to do that in your newer truck, that should be a granted, a given if they were doing it, 20 to 30 years ago for free.
The best one I seen on that little Ford program was the auto stop feature. You know how the car's got the auto stop where you stop stop line, the engine shuts off, let off the brake, touch gas, engine starts back up. Well, those are like on that Maverick. That's like automatically on as soon as you start the car. You have to push a button to shut it off. But then if you turn the key off or shut the car off, start back up, you'll have to hit that button again. So it's annoying. You have to always hit that button. Well, then I saw there were some companies selling a wiring harness thing, and you have to take some stuff underneath the dash apart, and you have to unplug some things and put in this splicer in between the two, and all it does is reverse that switch from being normally on to normally off, right? So like it will run like a normal car, and you have to hit the button to make it shut itself off every time, and then you don't have to mess with it each time you get out of the car. That's like $50 or $60 or something, right? And then I was looking in the options for stuff. Ford wasn't offering that for the Maverick, but for the Ford Ranger to have the auto start and stop disabled, they wanted like $175 or something on your window.
That's twice as much as
that little program I was telling you about. You go down to a box and click like normal on to normal off. Click, and now your truck is gonna work. You didn't have to buy no wiring harness where the wires twist and flip around and you spliced it in. You don't have to do none of that. You just opened up your laptop, went down and clicked the button.
Most vehicles, I don't think you need to, because even that, most come where it's automatically set, so that's a normal function, and then you can go through with the vehicle and turn it off yourself. I'm totally against those personally. I know everybody's got their own feelings on them or whatever, but the money you save, I just don't think it's practical. I don't think it evens out like the said it today. The juice isn't worth the squeeze because those starters are more money. Compare that starter to a starter that's not like that. It's more money. That's number one factor. And number two, there's only so many engagements. It's a mechanical device. So you're constantly using it. And what's that connecting against? Your flywheel. So you're doing it way more than the average person typically would. So you're putting more wear on your parts. So what's it cost for the average person to have a flywheel and a starter change? Now we're talking some money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is that breakout even to the gas you save sitting at the light?
Yeah,
I don't see it, man.
That auto start stuff like that, man, that is the worst thing ever for your engine. Your engine's made to start up and run, and that's it. It's not made to shut on and off all the time, man. It's perfectly fine sitting there idling with the oil pumping and everything working right. Like you said, you're not really saving any gas unless you're in like hour-long bumper traffic or something. But it's just wearing out your starters. It's wearing everything out. It's the way these engines are now and get the oil is so goddamn water thin in them anyways. You keep doing that. Every time that engine starts right back up, there's dry spots. And you're just wearing that engine out with that technology. In the starters, you're just wearing them out. That is stupid as hell. But the problem that gets me all the time, especially where I live, it's maybe different where you're at, but like traffic lights, let's say, for some reason you're sitting there at the traffic light and you sit there at a red light for, I don't know, 30 seconds, and when it goes to green, you only get a green light for like 15 seconds. And when you get two or three of them cars in front of you, they got that auto start and got to wait just a 1 second later. And you got two or three in front of them. It took up all the available time limit. And by the time you get up there, bam, you're back to a red light. Just because traffic didn't progress and move as quickly as it could have. So that like the whole thing about that is just negative. There's nothing good about those auto off, auto start features. It's dumber than shit. It really is.
I don't like them. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're putting so much shit. Like I was all excited. Yeah, they're talking about Toyota coming out with a baseline 20 some odd $1,000 truck. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that's got me to the point where a new truck might seem reasonable. Yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna happen, like I said, but yeah, I don't all this extra heated seats, fucking windshield wipers on your headlights, all this shit in your mirrors, like, TPI sensors.
Dude,
I gotta fuck with all
you
the
don't
time.
have heated seats,
I don't need all that.
I'm telling you, man, heated seats are awesome.
Dude, I don't, the last thing I need is to pay for swamp ass. Like, I don't understand.
Oh,
like,
no, you don't. It doesn't. It doesn't get
I'm just not that pampered. I don't give a shit. I want to be able to start it. It runs good. It doesn't shake all over. I got a radio. I got a heater, AC, windows work. I'm good.
If you got a bad back and you're driving anywhere for any length of time, those heated seats are awesome.
People are just getting too goddamn spoiled. See, the other thing you got to figure is in my state, you guys know about monitors with the computer and everything. Like when you get a code popped up, basically in my state, you only got like 3 blanks or 3 spots that can be incomplete. So if any of your systems don't work properly, even if it's something like, I don't know, stupid shit, pick anything. I mean, it could be a bad gas cap is one. You got a mirror that's not indicating is another. Your windshield wipers on your headlights aren't working. It's another. You can't get your car inspected. Like, you got to fix that, then and there to get your car inspected. So, it's different maybe in my state than others, but like, you get all this extra shit and it could be just stupid shit. Your fucking heated seats don't work, so you can't get your car inspected. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's freaking ridiculous. It's nothing to do with safety, but it's the monitors, and that's another thing the garages will try to screw you with. It's really only a safety factor, but most of these big garages around here, you go there, they'll rip your sticker off and tell you you're stuck. I don't know, whatever, call a tow truck, whatever. And they're not legally supposed to for half this shit, but they will. Even if your tail light's crack, it's got a little crack in it, they want to charge you $300 for a tail light. Like, it's you can't get inspected. So here with all that extra shit, if anything ain't right, it creates freaking problems for you. Other states, it may not be that way. You may not even have state inspections.
Yeah, the only thing they inspect here is your drivetrain. And your
here is like everything, bro. Everything, unless it's past 25 years old.
Yeah, it's windshield wipers, lights, drivetrain, and suspension, and exhaust. That's it. That's all they check here.
But ain't like that here.
What's bullshit about most of those emissions testing states and the things that they do, it's just total bullshit because they don't even care about the end goal. What you first start to think about is when they put that sensor on your exhaust pipe back there. You think emissions control. Well, for that particular model year car, there'll be numbers associated like that. Like You know, like how much carbon monoxide's coming out of that exhaust pipe. You know, how much unburnt fuel or whatever. You know, there's a test for how clean your exhaust is.
Like a freaking DOT
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, yeah. There's a test for if your car passes it or not. You know
Bust
what I
out
mean?
laptop.
But the thing is,
deal on the end.
they don't really. What fucks you is, say you pull your engine and you totally rebuild it and you add some performance to it and you change a lot of parts. To get that more extra horsepower, the engine's actually running more efficient. So you take this car that's now has new pistons and new cams and new intake and stuff on it. When you put the meters on the exhaust pipe, it's actually cleaner than the factory stuff. But now your car still fails because it fails a visual inspection up on the engine. Even though it blows cleaner air out the back, which is what they would probably should be thumbs up and about, hell yeah, man, great job. Nope, your car still can't get registered and you fail inspection over visual stuff. And there's no way around it. You can't win. And like I said, it happens all the time, and especially when it first started, when California started it and put the crunch on performance parts out there, you know, and it has to be off-highway use, racing only and everything. You can build the engine and it will surpass your EPA ratings. It will be better, but there'll be something up there on the engine that they don't like. Your new intake manifold doesn't have a EA carb number on it, and you fail a visual inspection, even though, like I said, the actual pollutants is better out your exhaust, you still fail. So they got it. So you just can't win. I mean,
manufacturers, in every car that's sold in the United States meets California emission standards, even if you don't live in California, because every car manufacturer, even though states don't require it, like here, we don't have emissions testing. You don't have to have California emissions. You buy a car in West Virginia, you're getting California emissions anyway, because that's the only way the manufacturers make them now.
Hey, if anybody out there's from California or knows somebody in California, chime in on this. But I saw this last summer, because we all know California has the worst laws about stuff like that. I was watching, it must have been a YouTube video or something. Guy recommending a new weed whacker or a new chainsaw or something like that, right? And people are starting to bitch that man, I gotta buy a new weed eater every year, every couple of years. No matter what you do, you buy one and the thing just don't last. It's got about a year's lifespan and it's junk. I saw a thing that was saying it's because of California. Every year to every 2 years, they keep increasing the EPA requirements on stuff like a small motor, like a weed eater or a chainsaw or something. They keep changing the requirements every year to 2 years, and the chainsaw people building these engines and the weed whackers, they can't make. It's hard for them to get to that clean air. You know what I mean? So instead of them investing money and time and trying to build something that it meets today's standards and tomorrow's standards, they just build you a piece of shit product that's only going to last about a year anyways before it quits working, make you buy a new one because it's not going to pass their new air specs anyways. So the factory can't really build that model more than a year without having to make changes. So that's why you're buying products that should be running 5-10 years for you, and they're only working about a year. That's because the company can't build the thing any more durable than that, because it's not profitable for them. They have to change their brand new products each year to meet the EPA standards. So in the long run, us consumers get shafted by spending a lot of money on a product with no durability, and then your only choice is left is to go buy a new one with the same limited durability, but the price goes up every year.
Real quick,
I wonder if that transfers over to vehicles because it's been one of my biggest bitches. Is my old ass truck has outlasted a lot of friends, fellow contractors do the same shit I do. Their trucks, and they've been through. There's a couple. I got a couple of people I can refer to. One's like 5 trucks in now since I got mine. Another one's 3. A lot of times, don't get me wrong, every time it wasn't because the truck was complete dead, but they just cosmetic or one reason or another, they wanted to upgrade. So, get something new. But when you look at that, shit, even when I go through the junkyard, like most of the vehicles in there are newer than mine. Like it blows my mind. So it almost makes you wonder, the way they extend the oil light, supposedly you can go 7,000 miles, you can go 10,000 miles, all this shit. Like, nah, I wouldn't do that shit. I mean, you could, but should you? I mean, when they basically come out now saying on average they expect a vehicle to be in the junkyard within 10 years, some companies 7 years, through 1 to 3 owners, and be scrapped within 7 to 10 years.
See, that's part of it right there, Rob.
You're paying $50,000 for this fucking shit for 10 years?
Yeah.
Like,
thank Obama for that shit.
Like, goddamn, I paid like $3,500 for 17 years.
Yeah, remember Cash for Clunkers? That was part of Cash for Clunkers. They have to build in what do they call it? Automated obsolescence or some shit. It has to be built into the cars because cars can only be allowed to be on the road for so long before they.
It makes sense now. It really does. I mean, we're paying more and you get less out. You can't keep them if you want to, like long term, really. It's crazy, man.
Well, look, man, that's part of it too. Is the modern day stuff, like modern day motor oil. I just mentioned a minute ago. It's water. That shit is as thin as fucking water. Some oils are like 0 W10 or 5 W10, 5 W15, 5 W20. That is too thin. That is completely too thin to do what it has to do. And since it's so thin, they have to tighten up the tolerances on all your fitment, on your bearings and your moving parts. Those tolerances had to be cut down in half of what like they normally used to be. And to run that thin as nothing oil. And the problem with that is now there's not enough tolerance to deal with any dirt or dirty oil or thicker oil. You could trash a brand new engine just by putting too thick of oil. Put like 30 weight in it and it'll run. You might as well have no oil in it. It's made so tight. Then they're so tight, like I said, in the passages and the oil gougers and stuff, they can't handle any dirt. They can't handle any sludge. So when any of that happens, it's just like shutting the oil off in these motors. They're running dry, and then it's going to break and blow up. But this oil nowadays, it's junk. It's nothing. It is nothing. Like all this modern technology, and just like Rob said, well, they say, oh, change your oil every 3,000 miles. You know what I mean? This new high-tech synthetic best of everything. You know the fucking motor oils they were running back in the 40s, or 50s, or 60s, or 70s? You changed your oil every like fucking 30, 40,000 miles, dude. But yet today you're telling me to give you $8 a quart for new and improved and advanced and microbiology, molecule, synthetic, high mileage, top of the line, everything. And then you turn around and tell me, oh, but it ain't no good after 3,500 miles. There's no improvement at all, man. It's backwards. It's junk.
Well, they only expect it to last so many miles now, where before people wanted, the best bang for their buck, and, you can go back to appliances, TVs. I mean, shit, there's washing machines from the freaking 70s that probably still work. Or a modern one, you're lucky to get 5 years or something out of it. So I mean, it's crossed a lot of products. I think that's why I was curious if maybe this is what kind of fell into the cars. But Rich kind of, if what Rich's information is correct, because I do remember Cash for Clunkers. It totally makes sense that they had to put in planned obsolescence. So
Yeah.
if they're expecting it to be in the junkyard within that many years, well, then they can use cheaper shit, and so can you. But they're going to charge you more to develop that cheaper shit. Yeah.
And planned obsolescence is also why you don't see as many classic cars on the road today as you did. Remember when we were kids and you had the muscle cars all over the place? You don't see them so much anymore. Why do you think that is? They're all sitting in junkyards smashed now because of Cash for Clunkers. Because if a car was beyond a certain age under Cash for Clunkers, if it was sitting on a lot somewhere and it didn't sell, they had to destroy it.
Yeah, they put some cocktail in the engine. I had a friend that worked at a dealership at the time, and they had to like put this cocktail in the engine, and it seized it up. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was some like, product that was given, I don't know, to them to do so. But I think it's a shame personally. I mean, when you talk about all this shit being green and what's good for the planet, is it better to keep something going that can keep going, or should we just constantly build new shit? I mean, look at the old TVs. I don't remember the name of the company because it's well beyond my years, but they used to be lifetime TVs. They're warranted for life.
Yeah, it was Zenith. Zenith was the one American TV manufacturer that was big. And when they started with all these new regulations and shit, Zenith went out of business. All the TVs now are made over in China.
That's crazy. I think it's crazy. I would rather have, it'd be nice if it had something where you can upgrade it so, seem more modern. But, I'd rather have shit that'll last forever because you never know how life's going to go or whatever the case. And, it's like fucking vacuums. Oh, my God. Seems like I got to buy a new vacuum every goddamn year. Like, don't get me wrong, it's used daily, and it's always that pet attachment, and that fucking thing is a pain in the ass. Doesn't matter what brand you get, it's always gets clogged after a while. And they all work great the first month or two, but when you use them daily, holy shit, vacuum, I never wanted a Hoover so bad in my life.
On the modern vacuums, the one that we've had that's worked the best, and we've had it for 5 or 6 years now, is the damn Shark my wife has.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Those old ass bulletproof, you could use for cover Hoovers or Kirby's, whatever the hell they were called. Those sons of bitches are still working. Still working.
Kirby's still around. You can still get Kirby. I don't know how good they are.
Maybe I should. I'm too broke for their kind of shit, but they don't send the salesmen around anymore. But
they were at the PA Home and Garden Show. Kirby was. That's how I know they're still around. They were selling Kirby's there.
See, that's a product I can stand by. Is it heavy? Is it a bitch? Yeah, but that son of a bitch is lifetime, and it'll probably stop a bullet.
Yeah, they still look like the old ones too. That drum with that's sitting sideways on wheels look that the Kirby's had still look the same.
I'll have to chime in here, and I'll have to say, out of things that we use every day and things that we have through modern technology, I would guess you give them the credit for it. One of the best bargains and the best things you can get is a TV. If you think about it, I mean, you can run right out here to Walmart and you can buy a great big TV with a lot of features on it for next to nothing, man. A couple $100.
Yeah, but they only
I remember
last like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, but like I remember not that many years ago, man. Before the flat screens and stuff come out, man. I've bought many TVs at more than $1,000 that got like a 25-inch glass tube screen on them, man. TVs had gotten up there high in price for no advancement to them at all. And when China and these flat screens and everything come into play, you just have to admit, like, for the bargain for your money, you can go buy a big TV for a little bit of money, but on the same store, a little tiny cell phone with a little 4-inch screen's $1,000. You know what I'm saying? But I could walk over here and get me a 72-inch widescreen for
That
400.
72-inch widescreen that you're paying 400 for doesn't have the same quality screen as what that cell phone has.
Well, but you just know what I'm saying. Out of all the products in the world, and look at the price of cars and things that jumped up, TVs are really a bargain.
Well, it depends.
You would think with everything you get,
$1,000.
you think
I
whatever
don't
you
think
get
so.
with a TV, they would cost a fortune. But
Well,
they're
not
cheap.
really. If you think about it, a touchscreen TV is just a big tablet. I mean, a touchscreen TV, a big screen TV, these LED TVs, they're just a big tablet, essentially, is all it is. They run freaking some version of Android, most of them.
I think they're cheaper, they're more affordable, but that's like a VCR or CD player, or freaking computer. When they first came out, they were freaking off the wall. Look at, PlayStation,
A smart TV
whatever,
is a
20
computer.
that they're on now. But
Yeah.
when they first come out, they're off the wall, but the price drops. But really, you can get a decent TV now cheaper. I will state that, but it's not as easy to repair, and it's not as durable. Where an older TV, now I'm talking back before my day, you could walk into an electronics shop, bring a tube in, plug it in on a tube tester. I've actually got some. And you'll know it's good or bad. Like a repair was cheap, and the average person can do it.
I would not say that they're not as durable. The TV we have in the living room here, we've had it since 2018. The TV up in our bedroom, we've had since 2010. They're both flat screens.
The TV right here, a few feet from me, it's only a 32-inch, and it is an Emerson. It's not like it's a Sony or something. It's an Emerson, and it only does 720. It doesn't even do 1080. I swear to God, if you go around to the back of it, it's got a sticker on it. And you know what year this TV's from? 2004.
It's not bad, but that's what it should be. So I think that's rare personally, but it's a thing. I mean, not saying it's not, or there isn't good brands or better ones, but as a whole, I still think
I'm telling you, man,
we're
flat
getting less for more. We get more technology, but durability.
Flat screens are more durable than what you think they are, Rob. We just had to throw away a monitor. It was a 1080p 24-inch monitor that we had when 1080p monitors first came out, which was what, like 2005? We had to throw it away because the cat sprayed it and ruined the internals on it.
All right, now that TV that you used to use as a TV stand, how old is that one?
That was just a TV. The monitor was from 2005.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the console TV that you use as a TV stand.
I don't have
how old is that TV? That TV is probably 30 freaking years old, and it probably still works like a damn tuner shot or something.
Here's the question.
Don't have a console TV. I haven't seen a console TV in ages.
Yeah.
How many people grew up in a house where the console TV quit working, and you just threw like a 19-inch up on top, and it just became like TV. Furniture. It just became a stand.
Never had a console TV in my house.
That's funny.
Yeah, we never had a console TV in my house.
Shit, I got one of them console stereo systems, Zenith, 8-tracks, got all that shit. Record player, still works great too. We basically use it as a piece of furniture because it's one of the top comes down, you can't even tell it's there type deal. But yeah, it was I don't know, somebody in your family died or whatever, and something we got from them, I guess. So I don't know. Thing still works though. Let me tell you what, you can bump the house with the son of a bitch.
Yeah. Defense
way older than me.
Yeah, Defense that said the motherboard in his 75-inch TV he paid $499 for it. It says the exact same $80 part that's in the $2,000 TV. Yet that's not the motherboard you're paying for. When you get one of those $2,000 TVs, you're paying for the screen because the screen technology is a lot different. You get one of those $499 TVs at Best Buy, that's an LED screen.
See,
you get the $2,000 TV, that's either a micro LED or an OLED TV, which is a much different technology, and you get a much better picture.
See, that's something I think is an issue too, where it's like people are just fucking spoiled or something. I've got better vision than the majority, high 90% of the population. And I'll be honest, walking through the store looking at the TVs, I don't notice a whole lot of difference between some of these, 4K, 5K, all this different shit, the panoramic, whatever, the fucking curved TVs. They don't look like they're worth the money to me. I don't know what the deal is. You know what I mean?
Well,
They say there's this
TVs,
new
you're
tech,
right.
but
Yeah, most
I
TVs
just
you're
don't
right.
really see, like, it might be a little better, but is it worth extra $1,000 better? Oh,
When
fuck
you,
no. Fuck
when you
no.
look, no, here's where you're wrong. When you're right about most TVs. If you're looking at an LED next to another LED, you adjust the settings, they'll look almost identical. You get an
Yeah,
OLED or a
LED to
micro.
plasma or whatever. Yeah, I know there's a
Yeah,
slight difference, but is
yeah,
it
you
worth
get
the
yes
huge money
with
cost?
an
No,
OLED.
dude, you don't live your
Yes,
life
it
sitting
is,
on
dude.
your ass watching TV.
So if you got
If
an
you do,
OLED,
you
if you
shouldn't.
put a regular, let me finish, Rob. You put a regular LED next to an OLED or a micro LED, there is a big difference. A big difference with the vibrancy, how dark the blacks are,
Yeah, but
where it actually
is it,
looks
is
like
it
black
really
and not
worth it?
gray.
Is it worth you
Yes, it's
working
absolutely
so
worth
many
it.
extra hours to provide
It's
that?
absolutely worth it. If you
I
can
don't think
afford it,
so.
it's
I don't think
absolutely
so.
worth it.
I just don't think so. But it's a difference of opinion. Apparently, a lot of people do, or else they wouldn't be selling them. So I'm an oddball, the outcast, typical. But to me, I just don't think it's worth it personally. Yeah, I look at all that as how much time do I have to volunteer to achieve it. Everything, a fucking car, a goddamn cell phone. How much, when you're talking prices, I compare it, because that's really what money is. It's your time. Whether it's time you already put in, time, money you got for free somehow. I don't know. I guess that's a thing for people.
The prices, by
Or,
the way, the price on the
your
OLEDs
job.
are coming down. The price on the OLEDs
Good
are coming
thing
down.
worth
You can get them for under $1,000 now, easy.
Still, but $1,000. I mean, what are you
No,
doing?
well
Sitting
under,
on your
well
ass,
under
being
$1,000.
unproductive, watching
If
a
you
TV
got
show.
$1,000 that you can
I don't
afford to pay
understand.
on a TV,
You're going to pay
you
$1,000
don't
for
give
that?
a shit about what you're talking about.
Hey,
If
I'm
somebody
gonna hop
got
This
off
is
here
why
for a minute.
Americans fat,
$1,000, they don't
overweight,
care.
bad health, and on drugs.
Hey, I'm gonna call it quits. Hop off here tonight, man. We got
We got to wrap
a
it
little
up
bit
anyway,
of thunder and rain, and my dog's freaked out, man. He's shaking like drugstore dice, man. So
I was
I'm
getting
gonna
ready
have
to wrap it
to
up anyway. Yeah, it's okay.
do
Jason.
something with him.
Yeah,
He just started this. He never used to, that I noticed, was panicky about shit. But the
How
other
old is
night, he's fairly old. But the other
Yeah, that
night,
could be why.
the neighbors
We had a dog
neighbors
like that,
let
that got
off
older.
fireworks, let off this cannon thing that they lit, and it blew up and popped like about 10 times, and it just freaked him the hell out.
Yeah, we had a dog like that. It was fine, but as he got to be like, or she, bro. You said he, and I said he. But she was like 15 years old, and all of a sudden, like loud noises and stuff.
Yeah.
Started freaking her the hell out.
Oh,
Took her
he's
to the vet,
shaking
and
like
the vet
hell.
was saying that their hearing was going, and it was throwing her off. You might want to get your dog checked. It might be a hearing issue.
Yeah, I gotta use my foot and force him out the door here in a minute. He's got to go pee for the night, and he don't like to go when it's raining outside.
Yeah. But you got anything you want to plug or anything? Because we're getting ready to go. I'm ready, like I said, wrap it up anyway.
Nope. I'm just gonna get off here and take care of that, and sit here for a minute. Probably go to bed because my cable ain't back on. But good to see you, man. Thanks for having a show tonight, and I'll see everybody sooner or later. I'll see you later.
Yeah. What about you, Rob? Anything you want to say?
No, I got nothing.
See you, Rob. See you, Rob.
You
See
want to tell everybody to eat a salad? Oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, I got that right under the name, under the title. So eat a salad. Don't be a pussy. All that good stuff. Have some fun. Yeah, life's short. You never know what days your last, so don't be a dick. Count for your actions. Don't double park. Don't take handicap spots unless you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't drive down the street with the music bumping and to destroy the neighborhood. all that stuff. Don't wear socks and sandals. That's just horrible.
If you're going to Mission freaking Barbecue, don't take the fucking veteran spot if you're not a goddamn veteran, you sons of bitches. I don't know if you've ever been to Mission Barbecue. They actually have a reserved spot for veterans.
I don't care. I'm getting yelled at because I'm missing a party.
Mission Barbecue is good. If you've never been there, you need to check them out. I don't know if
No, I
they're
haven't
in
been
your
there.
area. Huh? Yeah, their stuff's good. It's a veteran owned company stuff. Their food's really good. The barbecue.
Nope, not familiar.
Yeah. Well, check them out if you get a chance. If you go somewhere and you see one, check them out, man. I'm telling you, their food's worth it. When you get a sandwich, you get a sandwich, man. I got the last time we were there, I got barbecue turkey. Turkey was stacked that much on the bread. You get your money's worth.
Reminds me of the red and white store. I think that's why they went out of business. Like, there was more meat than bread. Fucking loved their stuff. Like, it was worth it. You could buy, I'm one of them guys. I can eat damn near a whole pizza myself. I know I'm skinny, but it's high metabolism. So one of those subs you could do dinner and lunch with. It was great. For
There
like
was a place.
$6,
There was a place.
$7. It's amazing.
There was a place in Pittsburgh. They make their steak sub on an entire loaf of Italian bread. They didn't use sub buns. They used an entire loaf of Italian bread.
Yeah, they just, things aren't like they used to. Everything goes up with the paycheck.
Knives out there real quick. We were talking about the OLED. Said on an OLED TV, you can see the nose hair on the reporter. No shit.
Yeah, that's too much, man. That's too much. I mean, that's for those guys that don't have girlfriends and want to see things real close up or something. I don't know. I don't need to see all the nose hairs and shit. I don't want to see that on YouTube. Keep your nose hairs to yourself.
Well, they're not putting it in your food, Rob. Come on. It ain't that good a technology yet. It ain't like on the Jetsons where George would be yelling at the baseball player, and the baseball player would look at George and say, "Shut the fuck up," essentially. But there's a holographic TV.
Well, it could be with these smart TVs. I mean, technically, the Wii system or not Wii, what was it that one Xbox had could see through your walls and all this stuff supposedly for sales purposes and marketing. And now with your smart TV, it probably could talk back to you, but it'd probably just freak the public out. So they're going to say that for a few years.
Well, that would only be like if you're watching the live news, because anything that's recorded wouldn't be able to do it. But
yeah, you'll start bitching at a commercial, and then the salesperson will start arguing with you, start telling you why you do need it.
at any rate, we got to get off of here. So, well, bid y'all adieu for this week. Oh, Vestat says don't watch porn on 75-inch. Nobody needs that much clarity. Oh man, a 75-inch 4K TV watching porn on that? Good lord. Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're going to come with aromas and smells. Yeah.
Well, hell, there's people that watch pornography on those VR headsets. There's some really weird people out there.
That will surprise me.
Those things are supposed to be for video game use, and there's people out there there's actual pornography that's made to go on those things. It's crazy. So with that in mind, watching it on a 75-inch TV doesn't sound as bad as watching it on a VR headset. Let's be perfectly honest about that. I mean, ugh. It's just weird.
Yeah, don't watch it. Make it, folks. Make it.
Yeah. No, certain states you can get in trouble for that too. But more and more I think about it, I'm wondering if Jim Morrison was a prophet. I mean, the song "People Are Strange" from The Doors. It's getting to be more and more apropos, folks. I'm just saying. People are just getting stranger and stranger.
Now you're starting to sound like one of them prophecy people and all that stuff. And when the abnormal becomes normal.
Well,
the
it is.
sign.
The abnormal
Yeah.
is becoming normal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was my point, man.
I get it. I get it.
Anyway, we will catch y'all some point during the week. And until then, have a good night, folks.